Hey, what's up, everybody? There's some cool new Nintendo Homebrew news that I wanted to share with you, so let's jump straight into it. So, the very first thing is that the MigFlash or MigSwitch cartridge now works on the Nintendo Switch too. So, if you're wondering what that means, that basically means that if you have a Switch 2 console and you have this MigFlash card, then you could play Switch 1 game backups directly from it. Now, there was an update over here on 6.14, and it was firmware version 1.2.0 adds support for Switch 1 games on the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. Now, it's stated here as announced earlier this week. Please find in our download section our latest 1.2.0 firmware, which adds Switch 1 game support for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, if we click right here, then it will immediately start to download it. But if we go over here to downloads, we can see that right there is the version that we will need to download. Now, in case you are wondering, is this real? It absolutely is real. Not only have I been able to verify it with a number of videos, but also I asked a good friend of mine to double check this for me, and he said that it is working just fine. Now, there is a video over here that I wanted to show you first off, and what they're doing here is they're just going to go ahead and they're going to take out this Zelda cart here, and they are going to put the MigSwitch card into it. So there you can see, obviously they have that MigSwitch card updated to that 1.2.0. And if they go ahead and log in here, there is Zelda. And so they're going to hit a button, and there is the Link's Awakening game, Pokemon Sword, Mario Kart 8, and there it goes. And right there, it is needing to download an update. So I'm going to skip to when that's complete. Okay, so right there, it just has finished. And now they are going to go ahead and start playing it. And there it begins to load up. And there is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So if you are wondering what has kind of come out of this so far, what we have seen is some bans. So here is a user over here on Switch 2 Hacks, and they said, just wanted to let everyone know to refrain from using their MigFlash on the Switch 2 online. My Switch 2 was just banned. Only games I had were my backed up games. There must be some sort of new detection Nintendo has on these MIG switches. Pretty dumb of me to go online with it. And he states here, my Switch 2 was banned, but my main Nintendo account is not banned. And he states that he wouldn't hold his breath on that. And I can just go ahead and tell you that the Switch 2 hardware is what is banned here. Your Nintendo account is going to be totally fine, and it is not going to matter here. I know they're worried about holding, I wouldn't hold my breath, but it's not going to be like that. So we're going to go and take a look at the pictures. There you can see the MigFlash cartridge as well as the Switch. And then this is the error code that does come back. And it simply states the use of online services on this console is currently restricted by Nintendo. So it is just the hardware that is banned. The account will be totally fine. And so now I bet you are wondering, what firmware are these people on that is using these MigFlash cartridges? Well, I found another video over here by GBA Temp. And well, if I just go ahead and play this video, it doesn't take long to figure out what firmware that they are using. And right there, you can see that they are going to be on 20.1.1. So 20.1.1 obviously gives support for the Nintendo Switch 1 games. So you will at least need to be on this version if you are using the MigSwitch cart. Now, there are a number of videos over here in this thread by GBA Temp that I would encourage you to check out. They're actually right here on page number 14. So the one that showed the firmware came out of this one, but here is a couple of more samples in that. And really, just this whole thread so far has been pretty good to kind of read through. And one of the other things that you'll probably find in some of those videos is that you can update your Switch 1 games using the MIG switch, and it will download the update on the Switch 2. Now, again, the guidance here was using their own clean dumps. Again, of course, you can use dumps off of the internet, but more than likely that's going to get you a account ban. Again, all of this is still in that same thread that I was just mentioning. Okay, so I have seen a couple of more videos coming across my timeline that doesn't seem to be accurate, and this is another example of some fakes that I have been seeing. So again, these are directly off of TikTok, and if I go ahead and play this video, there's kind of this weird camera motion that's going side to side. And as you can see right here, it's saying something like Blue NX Launcher version 0.8.1 alpha and a build date of 6/14. And it says launching Homebrew menu interface. And even if we look up a little bit earlier in the log here, it's definitely something called Blue NX. I'll just go ahead and let this video play out a little bit more. And then it brings them over to this Blue NX operating system. You can see there's a file manager over here, a system monitor, there's a memory editor, save backup, system configuration, and some sort of performance thing over here. And there's the game launcher. And then by that same user, there was another one called NVM acceleration. And right there, you can see they are now inside of that game launcher. There's an audio test, graphics test. Now, graphics demo version 1.0, which is on there. Press any key to return to the menu. So, yeah, I don't really know what these are, but they do not look like anything that is real to me, at least at this time. And I did want to call out that this has also been picked up over here by Switch Tools, and they have also stated that it is totally fake. So there's a couple of things that they pulled out of this, such as the HBT extended memory region allocated suggests that the device has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is incorrect. And then there was some other things here, such as Homebrew ABI V15 is compatible. This is false. And yeah, this is pretty much some sort of mock-up or fan-made project that is currently out there. And then the final thing that I'll leave you with is that over here on X, somebody said, interesting, the charging grip is a USB hub this time, and each Joy-Con 2 shows up as its own USB device. Wonder if the side rails are USB or if that's just some kind of USB gadget thing that is going on. And so he left a link to this GitHub gist, which is called Switch 2 Controller USB Reverse Engineering. And I would definitely recommend you go and check that out if you're interested in that kind of thing. Okay, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.